Today, we are going to looking at 10 people who makes Elon Musk look poor.
Well, I think Putin is significantly richer than me.
You really do, yeah?
Yes.
We all know the Forbes lists of richest people in the world. Elon Musk is ranking number 1 with a net worth of $225 billion. But for reasons like secrecy or criminality, Forbes don't publish a lot of people. So here are the actual richest people in the world. At number 10, we have Kim Jong-un, and it might surprise you. While we often think of North Korea as a struggling, poor nation, their leader is quite the opposite. Kim's estimated worth is over $270 billion. Despite his country's poverty, he lives a life of luxury, spending thousands daily on fancy cheese and designer cigarettes. Kim owns pretty much everything in North Korea: mansions, yachts, private jets, ski resorts, and more, all paid for with North Korean money. He's not on Forbes' list because North Korea gets most of its money from shady activities like black market trading and cybercrime. In a twist, Kim is a big fan of Hollywood, having bought a collection of over 20,000 movies, including Rambo and Godzilla. Quite interesting for someone who doesn't like America. Next in line is the Rothschild family. While it's not an individual but a wealthy family, many of its members are richer than Elon Musk. The Rothschilds are known for being super secretive, sparking lots of conspiracy theories. Some even say they've had a hand in shaping historical events to make a ton money, pointing to their funding of political activities worldwide. Adding to the mystery, they have a yearly meeting called the Bilderberg meeting where they plan secret ways to make loads of money. Over the past 300 years, they've influenced economies and events. They own banks, companies, charities, and huge plots of land, and their family's net worth is said to be over $2 trillion. Believe it or not, they're only the second richest family globally. Next up is Muammar Gaddafi. He used to be the leader of Libya until he was overthrown in 2011. Gaddafi was known for being corrupt and having a lot of money. He had fancy mansions, boats, and even a famous golden gun. His life, which was humorously portrayed in the Sacha Cohen movie The Dictator. The movie surprisingly captured some accurate details about him, including the golden gun. Gaddafi was incredibly wealthy, with an estimated worth of around $200 billion. It wasn't difficult for him to spend such wealth since he controlled the entire country, and those who opposed him could face serious consequences. He took money from the country and used it for his personal indulgences, secret banks, and investments worldwide. Even though Gaddafi is no longer in power, a significant amount of his fortune is still on hands of his family and billions of dollars still missing. Now, the House of Saud, the world's richest family. The House of Saud is the royal family of Saudi Arabia, and they're insanely wealthy, thanks to their vast reserves of oil and gas. Oil is notoriously expensive. Just think about the last time you filled up your car. Now, multiply that by millions, and you get an idea of the massive wealth flowing into this family's pockets. Their fortune, estimated between $2.5 to $3 trillion, is a closely guarded secret. They prefer keeping their wealth private, explaining why they're not listed on Forbes. Despite their secretive nature, the House of Saud doesn't hold back when it comes to spending. They indulge in lavish expenditures on land, mansions, and luxury cars. Next up is Bashar al-Assad, who is currently one of the most controversial politicians. As the dictator of Syria, he not only contributes to significant global issues but has also treated the country like his personal piggy bank. Al-Assad claims to have a net worth of only $1.5 billion, but experts suggest this is far from accurate. According to reliable sources, his wealth is more likely around $122 billion. He downplays his wealth to make it seem like he's taking less. But the reality is that he has substantial amounts hidden in secret bank accounts in countries like Panama. Here we have another example of a dictator from a struggling nation enjoying a lavish lifestyle. Next up is Pablo Escobar. If you've watched the Netflix show Narcos, you're familiar with him. He once led the world's largest drug cartel and, at one point, was thought to be the wealthiest person on the planet. Due to his criminal activities, he never made it onto any Forbes lists. Escobar's extravagant lifestyle included dozens of planes, mansions, boats, a personal zoo, and even an airport at one of his houses. He spent a whopping $2,500 a month on rubber bands just to secure his money. At the peak of his power, he was making a staggering $66 million daily. Despite his criminal reputation, Escobar earned the nickname Robin Hood because he consistently gave away 10% of his earnings to the local community. In a notable act, During a cold winter, he burned $2 million in cash to keep his daughter warm. At his prime, Escobar's net worth reached $155 billion, making him the world's richest man at that time. Now, let's talk about Hosni Mubarak, another African leader who got rich through corruption. Like Gaddafi, Mubarak was ousted in 2011 after being Egypt's president from 1981 to 2011, and his rule was marked by corruption. During his corrupt tenure, Mubarak managed to stash away a significant amount of money for himself, a whopping $70 billion. However, due to his extensive corruption, he never made it onto any Forbes lists. Living for 91 years, in 2011, an insider claimed to American media that he might actually be worth over $700 billion. Despite the speculation, this couldn't be confirmed, so for now, let's stick with the conservative estimate of $70 billion. Ali Abdullah Saleh. Before we dive into the richest person globally, here's another wealthy Middle Eastern politician. He held the position of Yemen's president for 3 decades, often manipulating polls to stay in power. Despite being ousted in 2011, Saleh continued amassing billions for his personal fortune. Known for his wealth and reportedly paying for the company of women, Saleh is believed to have stashed away a staggering $126 billion in secret bank accounts. This makes the former prime minister of a less affluent country extremely wealthy. Next up is Vladimir Putin. Right now, he's the richest person on the planet, though he doesn't show up on the Forbes rich list. Still, he holds the #1 spot on the Forbes most powerful people list. We've noticed a trend that great power often comes with great wealth, as we've seen on this list.
Well, I think Putin is significantly richer than me.
You really do, yeah?
Yes. Well, I mean, I can't go in big countries and stuff. I believe that you're not really rich unless you can afford a legion.
Elon Musk's $220 billion is substantial, but it's nothing compared to Putin's impressive $400 billion, possibly even more. Putin publicly claims to have much less, but leaked information suggests he has billions stashed away in Panamanian bank accounts. His lavish lifestyle includes million-dollar watch collections, yachts, and mansions, which isn't much of a surprise. Thanks to Russian oligarchs generously contributing to Putin's wealth, it's evident that he has far more than the $2 billion he publicly claims. So, Putin not only holds the title of the world's most powerful person, but also the world's richest. Finally, Mansa Musa. We've covered the current richest person, but we're not done. There's one more, and even though he's no longer alive, he holds the title of the richest person of all time. Mansa Musa had an incredible net worth of over $400 trillion. He was the sultan of a vast West African empire, essentially owning the entire West Africa region, abundant in land and resources. Despite many not knowing about him, his empire was massive. Sultans were treated like kings, and Musa certainly lived up to that status, residing in one of the largest palaces ever created.